I was a wrestler all throughout high school. I busted my neck and got painkillers, and that's when I started off Percocets and Oxycontin.
One bad injury, one prescription too many. This is how Jordan's slippery slope to addiction began.
I've been using heroin 10, 14 years. It was more expensive to get Oxycontin than heroin at that time, and it was a better high to get heroin, and I started smoking heroin, and then from then on it was game over.
Over the past decade, Jordan's story has become a common narrative in the prescription drug abuse epidemic.
The United States is in the midst of a severe epidemic of addiction to opioids, which are drugs that come from the opium poppy. And according to the United States Centers for Disease Control, this is the worst drug epidemic in United States history.
Each year, scores of people across the U.S. go to emergency rooms for overdose emergencies. Now, the CDC reports that in 2011, 1.4 million Americans went to the emergency room for these types of incidents. Of those, over 20,000 people passed away. Now, since 1999, we have seen these numbers go up significantly. 29 states have reported that those numbers have nearly doubled. Another 10 states reported that those numbers have tripled, and 4 states report that those numbers have quadrupled. Right here in California, the number of overdose deaths since 1999 has gone up 31%.
Prescription opioid overdoses now cause more deaths than heroin and cocaine combined. 2 counties in California are confronting the problem head-on. This month, district attorneys in Santa Clara and Orange County filed a lawsuit against the major manufacturers of these drugs, naming Johnson & Johnson, Purdue Pharma, Teva Industries, Endo Health, and activists in their lawsuit. Orange County District Attorney Anthony Rakakis spoke with RT over the phone about why he's pursuing these companies in particular.
They're the source. They're the ones who are creating this whole dynamic in order to increase their profit, and it's with little regard to the health and safety of the people who are taking these drugs.
Last week, Chicago joined the fight, filing a 126-page lawsuit against those same manufacturers and accusing them of a 20-year-long conspiracy to increase sales. Chicago's lawsuit alleges the companies downplayed the addictive qualities of the drugs, using so-called front groups to publish biased reports about the benefits and extensive uses of opioids. They are also accused of training doctors to turn to these harsh medications more frequently and targeting returning troops as a key demographic. Back in Orange County, Rakakis says one resident dies every other day from a prescription drug overdose.
What we're after, certainly what I'm after, is to require these companies to change their behavior, and that is to require them to tell the truth about the product.
The pharmaceutical companies declined comment on the lawsuits, but some say the blame shouldn't only rest on the shoulders of manufacturers.
About 15 years ago, the medical community began prescribing painkillers more aggressively than we ever had before. And as the prescriptions began to increase, it's led to parallel increases in rates of addiction and overdose deaths. So in many ways, this epidemic was caused by the medical community.
But for now, district attorneys in California and Chicago hope their scathing lawsuits will force big pharma companies to change their ways, even if that is tough to swallow. Reporting in Los Angeles, Megan Lopez, RT.